what just happened was New York's appeals court has overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 grape conviction. Now, here's my question. How many people saw this coming? If you guys saw this coming, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not see this coming, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Tony Taylor. What's good with it, bro? All right, we're going to listen to this little news clip right here.
The state's Court of Appeals just overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction in the landmark Me Too trial.
The disgraced media mogul, previously convicted of sex crimes against 3 women in New York. Pedro Rivera in the newsroom now following the breaking details. Pedro.
Yeah, Mike, that news coming down a little less than an hour ago. The New York Court of Appeals, in a 4-3 decision, found the trial judge who presided over Mr. Weinstein's case made a critical mistake. During the case, the judge allowed women who said Weinstein assaulted them to be called in as witnesses. These women's allegations, however, were not part of the case. The appeals court ruled that Weinstein did not get a fair trial, writing that he was, quote, not tried solely on the crimes that he was charged with, but instead for much of his past behavior.
So they got him on a technicality, and also they're not even saying that he's not guilty of what it is that he was being accused of. I'm gonna run this, guys. I'm gonna run this back, guys, so you can hear everything that was just said.
The state's Court of Appeals just overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction in the landmark Me Too trial.
The disgraced media mogul, previously convicted of sex crimes against 3 women in New York. Pedro Rivera in the newsroom now following the breaking details. Pedro.
Yeah, Mike, that news coming down a little less than an hour ago. The New York Court of Appeals, in a 4-3 decision, found the trial judge who presided over Mr. Weinstein's case made a critical mistake. During the case, the judge allowed women who said Weinstein assaulted them to be called in as witnesses. These women's allegations, however, were not part of the case. The appeals court ruled that.
So now here's my question. How was that not picked up during the trial? Shout out to Yo-Yo Queen. Shout out to Vega. What's good with y'all? How was that not picked up during the trial? Somebody make that make sense.
That Weinstein did not get a fair trial, writing that he was, quote, not tried solely on the crimes that he was charged with, but instead for much of his past behavior. So what's next for the 71-year-old disgraced movie mogul? Well, that'll be up to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to decide whether to seek a retrial.
So now, what do you guys think that Alvin Bragg is going to do in response to this? If you guys think that Harvey Weinstein is going to get a retrial, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to my man Steve Al. Holla! Mac, what's good with it, bro? Shout out to St. Louis Misery.
Bragg's office, by the way, wasting no time, releasing a statement saying it will do everything in its power to retry the case. Weinstein's attorney also releasing a statement that reads in part, quote, this is not just a victory for Mr. Weinstein, but for every criminal defendant in the state of New York. And we compliment the Court of Appeals for upholding the most basic principles that a criminal defendant should have in a trial.
Now, let me ask you guys this. How much involvement do you all think, quote unquote, networking had in getting this decision overturned? How much networking do you all think was involved in getting this decision overturned? You think somebody might have known somebody somewhere along the line and somebody rubbed elbows with somebody, or somebody gave somebody else a nod, or gave somebody else a word, or did a favor for a favor? You guys think that any of that happened? You guys don't think that any of the links of a ethnic value chain had to do with any of this, do you? Let me know what you guys think. And also, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 27 people watching and we got 11 likes. If we can get the likes to 30, that would be great. Make sure you guys enforce those likes. Throw the like enforcers in the chat.
It is important to note, Weinstein was also sentenced to 16 years in prison in California after he was convicted of raping a woman at a Beverly Hills hotel. So he's not going to be released immediately. He does remain behind bars in upstate New York. We'll continue to bring you updates at.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now we're going to check this out right here. The grape conviction of movie producer Harvey Weinstein has been overturned by New York's highest court. The New York Court of Appeals, in a scathing 4-3 opinion, overturned Weinstein's conviction on sex crimes against 3 women, finding the trial judge erroneously admitted testimony of uncharged alleged prior sexual acts against persons other than the complainants of the underlying crimes. Okay. The court said that testimony served no material, non-propensity purpose and portrayed the defendant in a highly prejudicial light. Now, let me ask you guys this question. This is interesting because we've actually seen this kind of thing be permitted in the courts before. We've actually seen this kind of thing be permitted in the courts before, but Harvey Weinstein had a skilled appeals lawyer who caught this error and then exploited this error. Okay? The Weinstein team, which was eagerly awaiting a ruling, was not expecting it to be in Weinstein's favor after a succession of rulings in different courts all went against Weinstein. So what's interesting about this is that literally nobody thought that he was going to get this appeal. And guess what? He did.
At the top of the hour, Harvey Weinstein's sex crimes conviction here in New York has been overturned.
These cases are important because we think of them as part of the Me Too movement, or may have started. A lot of questions surrounding the decision as we just start to get this information in today. So we are joined by ABC News contributor and former NYPD chief of detectives, Bob Boyce. Bob, thank you so much for joining us. Mike, you covered this, so why don't you start us off?
Sat in the trial for weeks and weeks, was there on the verdict day. And Chief, I got to ask you, because we were all sort of looking around as there were a list of people that were brought before the jury that were not involved in the three particular victims in this case. You've worked on investigations dealing with Mr. Weinstein in your years with the NYPD. How does this news sit with you today?
It's a tough day for the victims of this crime. It's not about them. It's about the strategy of the prosecutor. They were credible, they were believable by the jury, and that's how we went. It's the fact that the prosecutor brought on others, people to testify against Mr. Weinstein to show his bad behavior, a pattern, and they were not charged in that. So this is the issue here. It's not these victims, and I feel really bad.
So now here's my question. If you're not allowed to do that, then how do you establish pattern, and how do you establish character of the individual that's on trial? That's the question. And here's another question. Why did Harvey Weinstein's defense lawyer not say something about this during the original trial? That's my question. What do you guys think?
For them, because Mr. Bragg has already said he's going to retry. So that's important, but they'll have to go through this all again, Mike, and that's terrible.
So you guys heard what he said, right? Alvin Bragg already said that he's going to give him a retrial. Alvin Bragg already said that he's going to give him a retrial.
In that. So this is the issue here. It's not these victims, and I feel really bad for them because Mr. Bragg has already said he's going to retry. So that's important, but they'll have to go through this all again, Mike, and that's terrible.
Yeah, and I know Shirlene and Sam have some questions too, but it's important for our viewers to remember that following the case here in New York, Mr. Weinstein was convicted in 2022 for raping a woman in Beverly Hills, and he was sentenced to 16 years in prison, currently being held in upstate New York as he awaits.
So he's not getting out of jail.
No, and so that's an important reminder here. But this case, as you mentioned, it really did spark the Me Too movement.
It was a landmark decision, and you said it right off the bat that it shouldn't be a reflection on the survivors at all. And you do, and you said it right there. You feel bad for them. But what kind of message, that is the concern, the message that this could put out there to maybe future victims and survivors out there? Are you concerned about that at all?
Shirlene, I am. But this happened in the Cosby case as well. So this is not going to hold.
So now this is interesting. He said that this happened in the Cosby case as well. There were a lot of different circumstances that the Cosby case had that the Weinstein case did not have. And also with the Cosby case, the prosecutors illegally tried Bill Cosby and illegally imprisoned him. That didn't happen with Harvey Weinstein. Okay. So it's just interesting how the news will take a spin on a lot of these things to try to make these things comparable when they're not the same situations at all. Make it make sense. Real quick, shout out to everybody that just came in. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please hit the bell, subscribe to the channel, and share the stream to your social media. We got 31 people watching and we got 22 likes. If we could get the likes to 40, that would be wonderful.
Water for the next prosecution on these things. So that's where we're going to go forward. I thought there was plenty of evidence in this case that Mr. Vance could have presented, but he went into this strategy, which is up to him, by the way. So Mr. Bragg, Alvin Bragg, can retry this.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Shout out to Janesta Coleman. I appreciate you, Janesta. Make sure you guys show Janesta some love. If she didn't hook your boy up, I'd be sitting up here saying this.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
Shout out to you. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all throw some flames, radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Janesta's generosity. Shout out to you. Definitely appreciate it. Good to have you in here. Janesta says, salute everyone. I'm at work right now. Hey, I ain't even mad at you. Keep working so you can say this.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, bitch. Silence. Silence. I ain't got no money, pie.
Shout out to my man, John Guillory. Make sure you guys show John Guillory some love. 13 months of being a member. Please consider becoming a member. Don't let John Guillory be the only member. It's only 99 cents, and it definitely helps because...
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
All right, let's get it.
And do a different job here. And so go forward. So it's just another setback. Sam, you're exactly right. This is a foundational case that changed everything. The powerful people were moved from offices who shouldn't have had it, who abused women. So these courageous ladies, they're going to go, I'm behind them 1,000%. This was a big part of my life when I was chief, and I want to see this retried.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Well, I just wanted to ask you, Bobby.
Oh, man. Shout out to John Guillory and Win, Lose, or Raw. I appreciate you, bro. My man, John Guillory, said, you know what? I got up, got that crook out my back, and today I'm standing straight on business.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to you, bro. And shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. Make sure you guys show Win, Lose, or Rug some love with the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it, bro.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to y'all, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to AB bringing it for real. What in the smallest of new era? Yeah. Facts, exactly. You know what I'm saying? He part of that tribe to help him stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate it, bro.
That was good. Coconut, yes. Bob, amazing. Meow, yes.
Yes. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Shout out to Mike Nice. What's good with it, bro?
In all of the cases that you investigated and leading us to where we are today and all the cases, do you feel like that we changed behavior, that really and truly bringing these cases forward made a difference?
I certainly do. And I'm glad to be a part of it, proud to be a part of it.
Oh, man. Shout out to Miss Niecy. I can eat. Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. Silence. I ain't got no money, pie.
Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat. Definitely appreciate it.
Some of my detectives who I spoke to this morning, they're ready to go. They're committed, even though they're retired. They're committed to go forward with this, and I am as well, is to get this thing done once and for all. And you said it before, he still has 16 years to face in California. So he's not getting out of jail. He's in a medium security prison right now in Rome, New York. He'll be held there, hopefully.
The thing is that once they start an appeal, as they look at the rest of the appeals, it starts to deteriorate the foundations of why he got found guilty to begin with. That's why this is so important. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to downplay the effects of this, but this is actually really big. This was the first case that sparked off the Me Too movement. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, shout out to Carlton Way for standing on business for 5 months. Make sure y'all show Carlton some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man Carlton Way.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Could have been chat, you know what I'm saying? Could have been chat. One by one, all y'all getting timed out.
Based on this appeal in New York, still Mr. Bray can prosecute him. So we'll go forward. It's just another day. It's a bad day, but not going to deter us from really changing the world with this thing. I wish it did.
All right. Chief Boyce, always great to get your perspective, and especially on a case so intimately aware of here with this Mr. Weinstein situation. Chief, thank you.
Hey, yo, speaking of which, I don't know if y'all looked at the market, but it's some nice coins that's way down.
White.
Hold on, real quick.
White.
All right, yeah, I don't know what was going on there. It's some coins that's way down. You know what I'm saying? Today is a nice day to look at bonk. Shout out to MD Williams. What's good with it, bro? All right. So now here it says Weinstein was also convicted of sex offenses in Los Angeles and sentenced to 16 years in prison there. Because Weinstein is already convicted in California, he will not be released, but instead transferred to the custody of prison authorities in California. Weinstein, who is 72, was a well-known, powerful man within the entertainment industry, and prosecutors said he abused his power to take advantage of aspiring female actors like the alleged victims to coerce them into unwanted sexual encounters. Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is pay very close attention to that and keep that in mind. All right. According to the prosecution, the quid pro quo of assisting them in their careers in exchange for sexual favors on demand was both common behavior and a well-known secret throughout the film industry. Hold on, real quick. I don't know what's going on here. I do not know why that keeps doing that. All right. An explosive New York Times article in October of 2017 reported Weinstein had reached at least 8 settlements with women who accused him of sexual misconduct over the decades. Now, how many people knew about that? Before any of what Weinstein had done went to trial, he had already made 8 deals to stop these things from going to trial. If you guys knew about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not know about that, then give me a thumbs down. The story, which featured actress Ashley Judd publicly accusing Weinstein of propositioning her in 1997, sparked an avalanche of accusations from women who came forward with similar accounts and largely kicked off the Me Too movement, targeting prominent celebrities for sexual misconduct. Okay. Weinstein was arrested on May 25th of 2018 and charged with first and third degree rape for one victim, first degree criminal sex act with another woman. He was found guilty in February 2020 of 2 felonies, criminal sexual assault and third degree rape, but acquitted of 2 most serious charges, predatory sexual assault. Now, how many people knew about that? That he was acquitted of the most serious charges. If you guys knew that he was acquitted of the most serious charges, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't know that, then give me a thumbs down. So again, like I said, all of these things start to break down the integrity of the case. They make it more difficult, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carla. What's good with it, Carla? He was also acquitted of first degree rape. Prosecutors said the testimony of women other than those whose claims formed the basis of the criminal charges spoke to Weinstein's state of mind to use forcible compulsion. The majority opinion, however, said that eviscerated the time-tested rule against propensity evidence, which in criminal cases serves as a judicial bulwark against a guilty verdict based on supposition rather than proof. So what they're saying is that bringing in these other witnesses, bringing in these other people to testify based on things that Harvey Weinstein wasn't charged on are things that threw off the jury. Okay, shout out to Darlene Parsons. What's good with it, Darlene? Good to see you. Okay. Manhattan's district attorney office could decide to retry Weinstein. And as you guys heard in that news clip, it seems like that's the route that we're going to take as of right now. Harvey Weinstein probably is going to get retried. We will do everything in our power to retry this case and remain steadfast in our commitment to survivors of sexual assault, a spokeswoman for Manhattan's District Attorney Alvin Bragg said in a statement. Prosecutors are now reviewing the language of the opinion and must make sure that the alleged victims are on board to testify if Weinstein were to be retried. Now, let me ask you guys this. What if those people don't want to come back to court about this? What happens then? What happens then? And shout out to Nisi for enforcing those likes. What happens then if the witnesses don't want to come back to court, or if nobody wants to cooperate with the retrial? Attorney Douglas H. Wigdor, who has represented 8 Weinstein victims, including 2 of the Mullenix witnesses, those not pertaining to the crimes charged at the New York criminal trial, said in a statement, "Today's decision is a major step back in holding those accountable for acts of sexual violence. Courts routinely admit evidence of other uncharged acts where they assist juries in understanding issues concerning the modus operandi or scheme of the defendant." Right. So now here's my question. What makes it different in this situation here? Yeah, that's it. That's probably exactly what would happen. The trial would not be able to proceed. Shout out to Miss Nisi for throwing those like enforcers, and shout out to Carla. Well, he wouldn't necessarily go free, Black Spider. He would still have to do that 16 years that he's doing in California. But what would happen would be that those charges wouldn't be there anymore. It would look like a mistrial. Those charges wouldn't be there anymore for those for these things that are in question right now. You know what I'm saying? Which then, as you guys know, that's going to take away more. And then they're going to start looking at the stuff that he is in jail for and start using the appeals to discredit all of the subsequent verdicts. Okay? He continued, "The jury was instructed on the relevance of this testimony, and overturning the verdict is tragic in that it will require the victims to endure yet another trial." Okay? The Court of Appeals decided that the evidence of uncharged crimes allowed at trial was unnecessary to establish Weinstein's intent and served only to establish the defendant's propensity to commit the crimes charged. Okay? So again, even if it served to establish the defendant's propensity to commit the crimes charged, if it did establish or help contribute to establishing that propensity, I don't understand why that would contribute to the appeal being given. It doesn't make any sense. If this makes sense to you, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense to you, then give me a thumbs down. The opinion also said that trial judge James Burke abused his discretion when he allowed Weinstein to be cross-examined about the uncharged conduct ruling. It served no purpose other than to display for the jury's defendant loathsome character. All right, which again, that's part of the trial, is establishing character. So I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Okay. So we're gonna take another look at another article that came out. Okay. Harvey Weinstein's New York City conviction overturned by top court. The disgraced Hollywood producer could face a retrial in Manhattan on sex crime charges after a court's stunning 4-3 decision on Thursday. So I'm curious, if he does end up getting a retrial, how do you guys think that the retrial is going to go? Shout out to K Kent. What's good with it, bro? If he does end up getting a retrial, how do you guys think that it's going to go? Disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein could face a retrial on sex charges in Manhattan after a stunning decision by New York's top court. Okay. New York Court of Appeals judges Thursday overturned Weinstein's conviction in a 4-3 decision. The majority of judges found that a Manhattan judge in Weinstein's 2020 trial, a proceeding stemming from accusations that helped launch the Me Too movement, erroneously admitted testimony from 3 women who accused the producer of sexual misconduct. Now, again, this happens, it seems like, all the time. Shout out to Sybil. What's good with it, Sybil? And shout out to Last Name. What's good with it? This happens all the time. They have to bring in people to try to establish character. They have to try to establish motive. They have to try to establish a pattern. Those women's untested accusations had not led to charges, but nonetheless were used wrongly to undermine Weinstein, who ultimately was convicted of assaulting 2 other women, according to the opinion. Thus, it is an abuse of judicial discretion to permit untested allegations of nothing more than bad behavior that destroys a defendant's character, but sheds light on their credibility as related to the criminal charges lodged against him, the opinion states. Okay? The remedy for these egregious errors is a new trial. All right? So because of these errors that were made, a new trial will result. Okay? How the decision affects Weinstein, who is serving a 23-year sentence in the Mohawk Correctional Facility, was unclear Thursday morning. The opinion effectively means Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who is leading a prosecution against former President Donald Trump, will have to decide whether to pursue a new trial against Weinstein. Okay? So again, you know, Alvin Bragg, he can't be trusted.